ladies and gentlemen. This is Jordan Kurtz with the comments for the Peanut Gallery podcast. I'm here with my boy, the moisturizer, Moisty, Mr. Oscar Herrera. How you doing, Oscar?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good, bro. Why you looking so nervous, bro? And I see you in here looking all fresh and fly, but why you looking so nervous, man?
Sometimes I get a little nervous, you know? Gotta break the ice a little bit.
Gotta break the ice. Well, let's break the ice. Where can people follow you?
You guys can follow me on Instagram. It's Moisty, MOISTY_1 with the double E, ONEE. And Snapchat, Oscar Herrera. And Facebook, Oscar Herrera.
Thank you very much for that. So, Oscar, I'm very grateful to have you on here today. Thank you for taking the time. You've got a big fight coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's coming up in like, let's see, 2 weeks. About 2 weeks.
Yep. So down to the final stages of camp and your prep. So, what do you look? You didn't have the opportunity to fight in 2020 just because of all of the pandemic and the way that the shows on this front basically impacted everybody at your level for the most part, or in your position right now. What are you ready to bring to the cage on January 30th?
You know, I'm ready to just show how much I've improved. I didn't get a chance to fight at all last year, and you know, that kind of brought me down a little bit, but you know, I had to just stay ready and stay, it was a little bit harder to stay motivated, but you know, we got through it, and I was still training full time, so I'm just excited to show my improvements.
That's good, bro. I'm glad I get to see you go out there and put in the work that you've been doing, because you're a gym rat. You're here day in and day out, and you put in a lot of time, so it's gotta feel good when you finally go out there and the lights are on and you get to showcase what you've been working on.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, you know, the best part, but it's just been, it's been kind of rough not fighting, especially for amateurs, you know. So it's, you know, there hasn't been much. Wyoming's probably the only one that, I mean, there's a couple other ones that I've heard that have had some fights, but I should have already fought maybe like 4 or 5 times last year at least. But
since the last time.
Happens. I mean, the whole world is in that, you know. So not everybody's having their way with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I just gotta adapt to it.
If there is a silver lining to that dark cloud, it's that in a large
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri turned on.
Siri turned on somehow, weird. But we'll continue. But yeah, so with bro, that messed me up. Like I don't know what I was even about to say right there. But at least yes, this is where I was at with the silver lining in that dark cloud of what was 2020. A lot of, like I said, you're young, so you weren't really fighting against the clock necessarily like some other fighters who were basically, you know, they're creeping up, they're past 30, anything along those lines. So if we're looking at positives, you're still young, and there's a lot of people who were in the same boat who didn't have the opportunity to fight. So I think that in a way, I don't know, maybe there's benefits to come from it. I'm just trying to keep it positive, trying to keep it light.
Yeah, well, if I look at benefits, yeah, it gave me a time to, because you know, when you're in a fight camp, you're kind of just focusing on kind of what you're good at or being in shape, or you don't really, I don't know, maybe you don't progress as much as when you don't have a fight. And ever since I even came here, like to Factory X, I think just like early in my career, I was fighting way too much. So people think I have like a crazy amount of experience, like I have a lot of fights, but I have a decent amount of time training, but it was more so back to back. Like one time I fought 2 times in 3 weeks, like in my previous teams. Maybe I had to back away from that a little bit. I've only fought once since I've came here, you know, because of the pandemic too, but also when I first came here, you know, I had to adjust to the team. But it let me grow a lot more than, you know, got better than I was a lot before. So.
Definitely. Now you're one of those very, very rare cases of your true weight class is a strawweight.
Yeah.
but you're going up a division for this fight. But my man, blows me away every single time thinking that a grown ass man is gonna step on the scale at 115, 116 pounds. That blows me away. I was in the 6th fucking grade when I weighed that.
Hey man, it's my genetics. I can't help it, you know. I'm not a big guy, but I mean, you know, I've fought a lot at 25. It's not something that I'm afraid of. It's not something that, you know. Also, maybe early in my career, I wasn't quite prepared for all. I wasn't as good skill-wise as I am now. Like, you know, I was still growing. I came into this sport with no background, you know, so my skills are a lot better now, where I can, maybe those extra pounds, you know, don't matter as much as they did before. But
definitely. Well, at your weight, you're in a very advantaged camp, if you will. I mean, there's a lot of very high level talent in those lower weight classes at Factory X. How do you think that has helped progress you as a fighter?
A lot. When you're training with, if you're training with guys that, you know, you're having the better of them every time. It's just, it's a good confidence booster, I guess. But when you're training with guys that are, you know, whipping you up every day, and especially training with guys that are, you know, ranked in the world and top outside of UFC, and, you know, just top. Especially in like my weight class, a lot of the guys that are, you know, really high level, like 25, 35. There's a lot of high level guys here, so that has made me, you know, get better. And, you know, I try to go with guys that are, you know, beating me up so I can progress, and, you know, instead of just staying stagnant, you know. So I think it's helped me a lot.
We need to get some life out of you, Moisty. We need to get some life out of you here, bro. You're a little flat on me, dog. So let's shift gears a little bit so we can spice this motherfucker up for a minute.
Let's hear it.
You've also got a very interesting hobby outside of fighting. Not saying that it's a bad thing. Shit, I bump it all the time. But my man got some bars, is what I'm trying to say.
You know, they're all right.
They're all right. I'm trying to pump you up. But yeah, I mean, from the videos to, you know, to just everything. Like what got you into what brought you to music?
One of my teammates here, his name's Brian Mitchell. I never did it. I never, you know, I just be rapping in the car sometimes, you know, that's about it. But he just said, hey, come to the studio with me, let's do a song. He told a couple people, nobody showed up. Just me and him showed up, and I just got on like I'm getting out of here, you know, with the little earphones on, and just went.
Got bands in my jeans and you know to Tom Ford. Like, as soon as I heard a couple of those lines, and I was like,
oh, maybe they're all right.
Okay, Moisty's a little nice with it. Okay. Then put on the talent show to the, you know, the part just throwing money everywhere. That just captured it.
Yeah, it's, you know, I never did it, but so guess we doing it now.
As I guess with that, one, you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Where do you see that? Where do you see that taking you?
I don't know yet. You know, we've barely been doing it. We actually, Brian's, you know, made a couple of songs, and probably got like 4 of them now, 4 or 5. So we're hoping to put them. We've never put any of them out. You know, just showing them to kind of hear the team, and just you know, just a couple of people. But we'd like to like put them out and, you know, see what kind of viewing we get, see where it goes. But
I know that you guys have a dope video in the can.
Oh yeah, you know, we got that one under lockdown.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Swab, Joey. But yeah, that I don't know, man. Like I just like seeing I like seeing my friends have fun and chase some passions. You know what I mean? Like, I know Fish and Chips is super, super talented. I mean, he's one of those creative minds that if he wants to do something, Brian's the type of kid that he can be successful doing what Brian wants to do. It's just a matter of if Brian wants to put in the work to get it done, right?
Yeah, if he wants to do it.
Exactly. So, you know, like I say, I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I mean, you guys remind me a lot of the way that I lived in like my wild ass lifestyle when I was 23. You know, when I was that age, my old ass can't hang with half of that anymore. But I'm telling you, bro, if it were, you know, about 8-10 years back in reverse,
you'd have been right there with us, huh?
Right in the thick of things too.
Busting out some lyrics.
just period, just in general, you know, like, I don't know, just life as I grew older, the time, just like the end of the night, just kept on creeping lower and lower. You know what I mean?
10 o'clock,
Maybe not so much that, but we're not far off sometimes, man. Like, you know, or I'll just be sitting there and I'll have a couple too many vitamins in the system, and I'll just be like, oh man, like I can go do something, but this couch is feeling nice.
I don't know if I want to no more.
Like, oh man, I got food in the fridge. I got everything that I need right here.
I know I've invited you a couple times and you don't make it.
I've came a couple of times, but you're right. I can't even bullshit you on that. There's been a couple of times where it's just been like, I ain't doing shit. You know what I mean? Like it happens, you know. But I definitely I've had some great times capturing lightning in a bottle with you guys out on a few nights.
Some good photography, some good videos.
Yep, exactly. Like your birthday last year, that was a long gift in the making, but you know, I think it ended up all right.
Took you a year, but it's all good.
I mean, I held to the joke after the first couple of months, though. You're like, hey, is that just going to be my birthday present for next year? Like, yeah, bro, that'll be your birthday present next year.
It was good, though. It was good. worth the wait.
But yeah, man, I mean, that was just, I don't know, like, from running in that sort of realm at one point, like, to then going back into it, like, man, it's been a while since I've had some bottle girls up in the mix. Like, it's been a minute, and never before though. And bro, like I used to party with some of the guys like you know, like DT from the Broncos, or you know, like some of those like Ty Lawson from the Nuggets, Tony Carter from some of those guys, and never before have I ever been in the club where they had a broad for each letter coming out holding your name being spelled. So I was like, oh, okay, he's got the sauce like that. That's how we're doing it. We got the Ace of Spades coming. We got the 1942 with the sparklers, and every single letter of Moisty's being spelt out with a different chick walking it out.
Hey, it's a once a year thing, so you gotta do it.
Once a year thing. That's rich. I feel like, bro, if there was an actual check-in counter for platinum, you'd be the VIP.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. See, I at least got you talking now, though. I at least got you a little bit more fired up, though, right? I got some life out of you.
Oh, man. Had to get a little awake. You know, this Denver traffic's picking back up, and it makes me grumpy to sit in that,
So Oscar, let's talk a little bit. Let's peel the layers of the onion, man. What got you into fighting? You mentioned that you didn't have a background coming into it. You know, you didn't wrestle or anything when you were young and growing up. What got you into fighting?
Yeah, I didn't. I never wrestled. I never really did any physical contact sport. I was always kind of, you know, even in middle school or like elementary school, I kind of got picked on. I was like, not so much in high school no more, but I was always kind of like, I was like too clean, you know, like I got ready. I didn't like to do any of that. Like
pretty boy?
Yeah, I was kind of
imagine that. Imagine that.
I still am, you know, but you know, we do this now, but
My man carries a whole salon in his locker room bag.
But yeah, man, I was actually supposed to go. I mean, you guys have heard. You did remember that interview we did? Not an interview. We did that project. Yeah, that speech. It was kind of. I had a scholarship to play baseball, and then didn't end up doing it because of a girl. You know, so we're not gonna get too deep into that right now. But yeah, and then coming out. Then I started training with one of my best friends. His name's George Martinez. I started training with him. It was kind of like more of like I thought I was gonna fight this one guy that was talking to this one girl I was talking to. We were, you know, that dumb kid stuff. So they were like, "Oh, we're gonna meet here. We're gonna fight." And then we never even met. I was like, "Hey, George, you have to," because he was already fighting. He had like one fight. He was training already. I was like, "Hey, George, you have to train me for for 1 week. Like I was gonna learn something in 1 week. I'm gonna fight this guy." He's like, "Yeah, just come to the gym." I ended up going. Got beat up by the girls, by everybody there. But you know, I always just wanted to come back. Like when you tell me I can't do something, like or somebody's laughing at me that I can't do something, you know, like I just like to show that I can. So I just came back every day and. No, I always had like a lot of heart. I'd get beat up, but I'd be laughing, you know, and it was fun to me. So, and it still is. It's, you know, I love it, and you kind of have to love it to do it. So, yeah. Now I think I started training when I was about 18, 19, and now it's my career. So,
Crazy how that works.
Not going back now. I don't have like another. You know, we do, yeah, we have like, you know, like rapping, we're just doing that, or like, but I don't really want to go back to something else. Like, I don't want to go back and work a job. I quit my job like exactly like 2 years ago. It was about 2 years ago. I've been full time for around that time, and I was always scared to leave my job. I was like, man, like, I don't want to, you know. I've been blessed, like I got good, you know, my family has always supported me, and so I've been able to do it. Like not a lot of people can, and you know, I'm just happy that I can, and ready to see where I'm just trying to move past this fight and you know, do a good job and then go pro. I've fought too many times, you know, for free already, and it's been a long road.
So let's talk fight. Tell me about your matchup. Like what do you envision? What do you see? Everything goes your way. What sort of performance do you put on January 30th?
I just want to, you know, I want to show my improvements and, you know, just staying. My style is, you know, just, you know, I like to look clean. I like to look, you know, show my improvements, and I've always been like a clean fighter, you know, like if it gets dirty, you know, you have to fight it. Like that's, you know, that's every fighter's job, but. Me, I like, you know, I've always liked just being, you know, having fun, you know, showing new moves, showing, you know, I'll be clapping my hands, putting my hands behind my back, all that. Just, you know, it's not like a disrespect thing, it's just what gets me going, you know, like it gets me in my groove, you know. So, just want to put on a clean performance and, you know, show the coaches I'm ready to go pro.
Acting like you're a kid who came up in the Conor McGregor era or something like that.
Yeah, I do watch Conor a lot.
I mean, in your last fight, like I had the opportunity to commentate your last fight, which, I mean, it was an incredible performance. You know, you did elbow the shit out of that kid. Because I knew exactly that's what you were gonna say. I knew that you were gonna say that it was forearm. Like from my standpoint with the headset, it was like, oh man, like oh shit. That definitely didn't look good. But aside from that, an absolute show, and I mean, played to the crowd. You had him on the ground at one point while you were, you know, about to pass on a punch. Like you were standing at the outside of his guard while he was down, right? And then throwing the hand up to the crowd and then coming all the way down. I'm like, just had a little bit of a flair for the dramatic and helped put on a show. Like some of those things that, you know, I mean, let's call it for what it is. Being entertaining is a factor. in this sport as you
Yeah.
continue to grow and continue to build with your career. What would you say, or who in the fight game? You mentioned Conor being one of them. Who is an influence to you? Like who is someone who has helped shape your game?
I watch a lot of Conor actually, but like if we talk about like other fighters, I mean, I watch a lot of fighters. Like I watch a lot of fighters. I've always wanted to go. You know, you've always known I've always wanted to go to one championship, but I watch a lot of guys over there. You know, I watch a lot of guys in my weight class. But when I wasn't here, actually, I would always watch, even when I wasn't here, before I even knew Brandon, I'd watch Brandon a lot because I thought he was like real similar style to me. Like, I'm kind of longer than all the guys in my division, you know, kind of taller. I like to watch guys that kind of fit to my game. I'm not a great wrestler, you know, like, and he's just super entertaining. Like, I would watch him back when I was in Team Wildman. And yeah, he's a super cool dude. And before I even knew him, and he'd always, you know, reach out on social media, everything. And I just liked like his fighting style, like it's real entertaining, and it's more jujitsu, like, you know, playing off his back. And it's kind of how I am. So I'm not, you know, everybody tries to take me down, or I'm not a great wrestler. I didn't come up with that, so I just kind of like to stand up, and if I can take it down, I'm comfortable off my back. So.
And I feel like that has to be a big hurdle that you always have to account for at your weight class, because a lot of times, I mean, wrestlers are going to be those little guys.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're going to have to figure out how to overcome that hurdle of someone just putting, you know, that bulldog pressure shooting for a takedown all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes those make for, you know, boring fights, like, you know, but it's the game. Like, if you can do that, and if you can succeed with that, you know, like, props to you. But yeah, I've gotten a lot better off my back, and you know, just my overall game. So you know, I feel comfortable now with fighting those tough wrestlers, or maybe, you know, still got a little bit to work on so we can go to those high level wrestlers, you know, super high level wrestlers that there is. So, but you know, just keep learning, and we'll get there.
So speaking of Conor, we're at the eve of the return of Conor. Conor Dustin Poirier 2 is going to be coming up the weekend after next. What are your thoughts on that?
First round finish.
That's
what he's been saying, so, and he's pretty right all the time, so.
They call me Mystic Mac, because I predict these things.
He said under 60 seconds, so Poirier has gotten a lot better, though, so
yeah, man, I think that Dustin is such a different fighter at 55 than he was at 45. I don't know that is enough to beat the best Conor.
Right.
You know, I think that Dustin Poirier can beat Conor McGregor? Yes, I do think that he can beat him. But if Conor shows up in his absolute best, as much as I love Dustin, and I'm a big Dustin Poirier fan, I mean, I feel like it's hard not to like Dustin with his story. You know, I mean, he's that guy who is, you know, he's taken all the faults. He's failed many a times, and that is why he succeeds. Kind of that Michael Jordan adage, as far as, you know, like the quote or the mantra. But the fact of the matter is Dustin is a war-heavy sort of style. Dustin gets hit. And I just think that you can't play the game of taking one to give one with Conor McGregor. I just think that if
it's hard.
There's only so many left hands that you can eat from Conor before it's Katie by the door. And I'm not a big Conor guy. Like, I mean, I respect the hell out of what he can do.
Yeah.
I respect his ability. That's just keeping it real. Like, that's not trying to stroke Conor and, you know, be all over his nuts or anything along those lines. That's just being real. That you can't get hit by him repeatedly and still be able to keep on going. Like, there's one guy who's been able to do that and just keep on walking through those, and that was Nate Diaz. That's the only guy who's been able to take some of those shots and just keep on going. Because Habib never even let him really have the opportunity to hit him hard,
too much,
and to hit him that clean. And that's credit to Habib. For someone who is as elite of a boxer and striker as Conor, was not able to find his mark at all against him. But someone like Dustin, I mean, like I say, I love Dustin, but Dustin, even himself, has talked about how he doesn't know how many more of these wars he has in him. I think that that's going to be the difference, wouldn't you say? He just, his style, it's a styles clash, and the style matchup works out perfectly for Conor.
Yeah, I do believe that. And Conor, I think, actually helped Dustin a lot. I think after he beat him, I don't know, Dustin maybe got a different approach to the game, and he went on a huge winning streak up until he fought Khabib. I believe he hadn't lost ever since he fought Conor. So, and I've heard them talk about that a little bit. All the guys that Conor has beat, they've went on crazy streaks. So, that's something good to look at that he's done for a lot of people. And I don't think he will be able to beat him, but
I would say that there's probably an asterisk to that, in that there was two guys that really went on big runs, and that was Max Holloway and Dustin. Because you can say that guys like Melvin Gillard to Dennis Seaver, that was basically that put that steroid fucking to retirement.
Yeah, true.
Chad Mendez, Chad did go bounce back, but it was never he was never the same Chad Mendez that fought Jose Aldo.
Right.
Like in those original type of fights, But I get what you're saying. There's been guys who did find success and then obviously Jose has been able to rebound and has put himself back into top contender talks in a completely different division now.
Yeah, everybody's wanting him to retire, and I mean, he's not old, I don't think he should yet, but you know how critics are, so
definitely. Well, critics are always going to say that sort of thing if you slip up a couple of times and if you start looking like a shell. And I think this was my thought, Oscar, honestly, because Jose's been through a lot of wars himself throughout the years.
Right.
I mean, people forget how dominant he was in his early 20s when he was a WEC champion and just beating the best of the best. The time when he absolutely destroyed Uriah Faber's leg. That fight, insane. The fight with Mike Brown, insane. Some of those old WEC matchups are some of my favorites to watch just because Jose was so goddamn good. But you have a guy like him that, what was one of his biggest methods for success in those fights? His kicks. But there was a time frame where he got away from them. He got away from those kicks very observably, I feel like. And I started to think in my head, a lot of times guys who are that kick heavy eventually have knee issues. So I started to think, man, are his knees just that torched now at this point that he can't even really throw kicks? But then in these last couple of fights, he started throwing them again. So I just don't know if it was a programming thing or if he just knows, you know what? Fuck it, I've got to throw these. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel he did get away from it, but I also think his hands looked a lot better. All those body shots, all those. I think I forgot who he finished with that nice body shot, but I mean, maybe he was just working on different aspects of the game, and then just got away from what really got him there. He looked good last fight, so hopefully he finds success going forward. Because when I seen him fight Peter Yan, man, that kind of put me a little bit
that was tough to watch.
As a fighter, you just watch it you always want. I've always been I want the guy to win. I want the guy that nobody thinks he's gonna win to win. That's how I don't know if a lot of people are like that, but
you root for the underdog.
Yeah, I just like hearing a good story. You're not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to win. You're not supposed to.
And Piotr Jan played bongos with his head in that fight. That was a tough one to see.
Yeah.
So anything that you want to get out to your friends, family members, supporters, teammates, coaches, anybody out there?
I mean, nothing off the top of my head. Just hopefully everybody could come out and support on the 30th. It's a little bit of a drive, but any sponsors, all friends and family, just come out and support if you can, and that's about it, man.
where can people get tickets, get the pay-per-view, any of that?
If you guys follow me on social media, I'll be posting the link. I've sent it to a couple of people that have reached out to me, you know. But there's a link to buy a pay-per-view, so if you can't make it all the way over there, you know, just go on there, order it. Sparta will love it. You know, I'll love it. You know, we all love. My promo code is my last name, so that's it. You just go on there, put my last name in the discount code, and
Will you spell it for the people who might not know?
Yeah, HERRERA.
Trying to get you paid, dog. Trying to get you taken care of, bro.
For real, man.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on. You know, we had to bring you out a little bit. I had to bring you out of the shell. Had to moisten it up a little bit, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
I'm feeling it a little bit now.
Feel that sauce a little bit now. But so I am Jordan Kurtz with the comments for the Peanut Gallery podcast. You can check out my man Oscar Herrera on January 30th. Please give us a follow, like, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.